Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence, and how you doing? A big mahalo for joining me. I appreciate you tuning into the show. On the line is a legendary jazz, soul, keyboardist, vocalist, and really a pioneer. He's joining a wide range of artists at the upcoming Maui Jazz and Blues Festival. In all, it runs from September 19th through the 25th. MauiJazzandBluesFestival.com has a nice rundown of who's there and when. For decades, this gentleman has mesmerized with his soulful voice, smoking playing, and remarkable raw charisma. It's an honor to welcome Les McCann. Aloha and mahalo, Brother Les. Thank you so much.
Yes, aloha to you. How's everything?
Everything is really good, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes for me.
Oh, what could be better than the thought of Hawaii and going there and everything?
What comes to your mind when you think of Hawaii and that? What runs through your mind as a connection to the islands?
Well, number two is unbelievably beautiful women. And number one is unbelievably beautiful women.
I'm detecting a pattern.
I like sights. I like seeing people, different kind of situations, a little different from on the mainland. And to see, when I was there before, I went to people's houses. I remember the trade winds. That was one of the greatest experiences I ever had. I took a nap, and I had dreams that were heavenly. It was truly beautiful.
And you sort of attribute that to the trades blowing while you were napping?
It was. That's what happened. Exactly, yes. I have only excellent memories of, except for the time I got robbed there, but other than that, you know.
When did that happen here?
Oh, that's a few years ago. I haven't been there in about 4 or 5 years, so it was before that.
And which islands, what's your history sort of with Hawaii? When did you start coming out here?
I have no idea to tell you, but I've been there at least 4 or 5 times. I went to Maui. I've never been to Maui, but I've been to Kauai and the main, Honolulu.
Oh, Oahu, yep.
Yeah, so, but it was always for a very quick stay, and one time we did stay there 3 or 4 days, 5 days, but had a big storm, and a lot of things was changed. People couldn't come out, but to me, being there is being outside, being in the elements, being in the water. I'm a tennis player. I used to be, and that was. I didn't even realize if I looked up, I saw things I couldn't believe. I'm swinging at a ball and happened to look up, and I was blown away. Oh, missed the ball and everything. What a beautiful sight.
Just the sights of Hawaii being that distracting.
Yes. I was into photography and painting for years, so the mere colors that live in Hawaii are part of what I dream about, you know. And also I enjoyed the food I had there, which was, I think, basically Chinese food. But everything was a treasure being there, and putting my face under the water to look at all those beautiful colored fish. Oh, my God, breathtaking. I've always heard about Maui, but just never been there.
Say that again?
I heard about Maui for years, but I've never been to Maui.
This is going to be very exciting for fans there. What's in store in terms of the structure of the show that you're going to do on Maui? Any collaborators? Kind of describe what's going to be taking place.
Well, I can tell you that because I work for Mr. Javon Jackson. He's, in the last 5 years since I've been in medical situation, I have no way I can't walk. I have a wheelchair and I move around, and it's hard for people to deal with me, book me with them because they have to be with me. To have somebody with me at all time, caretaker. And Javon came out of the woodwork as soon as I got out of the hospital. He said, "You remember you told me when I was 17, 18 years, if I had a band, you come and work for me?" And I said, "Well, what's the problem?" And we've been together the last 2 or 3 years, so it's been great. And he runs everything. He's the boss.
Wow. And so it's really he bears a lot of responsibility with resurrecting your career and bringing you to Hawaii, really.
Yeah.
And what's his set usually like when you guys are playing?
Well, he has records out and I have records out, so we try to do a little bit of both, but mainly the songs that people have claimed over the years is a people song. The main thing we do is compared to what? That very famous classic that's been around
An
for
epic.
all these years, the great writer Gene McDaniels, who just died last month, in fact.
Why do you think that was such a huge success for you? The groove in that, it's so funky. It's like a real train-like rhythm. I'm always mesmerized by that song.
Well, that's what it is. It was the beauty of jazz is being this type of creative musician. You're after something every time you make a record. Every time you get on that bandstand, you're hoping that you rock the world. And it doesn't happen very often. It's always often very good, but when that unbelievable magic moment comes by, you just hope that it's on record. And often you don't even realize it until later on when you go back to hear the tapes and you hear the words from everybody. Oh my God. Because, we have songs we like. People may not like them, but as Eddie Harris used to say, we play this stuff up here, and we ever think that we may not like it either. I mean, it doesn't work every time. It only works when people, but fortunately, and I'm being more than thankful I am, that I have a song, at least one song, that I have to play it every night. I can't get away even if I didn't want to do it. I could not do it. I have to do that song at least 2 times every night.
Wow. And that's a great thrill and a huge honor for you. I can really appreciate what you're saying, that you were able to put that thing on the map and make it so that you put yourself on the map permanently. Take me back to you first getting to that song and how it became part of your repertoire in life.
Well, the guy that wrote it, Eugene McDaniels, he and I started out together here in Hollywood, where a lot of young people had come out of the military, out of their hometowns, and Gene just got in town from Nebraska. How many black farm boys do you know? I don't know, but we started hanging out together. We had our whole group. Everybody had a group, and these days were the days of the hippies.
Right.
Hollywood had coffee shops everywhere. And I worked at all of them. I would go to college and study and get off and go do my coffee house gig and play the piano by myself. I'll go over to the next level. It was all scheduled, and I was known as the king of the coffee houses then. That's when only people in Los Angeles knew me. But I met Gene, and he told me he was a songwriter, and every time he wrote a song, he would call me and play it for me. So he called me and told me he had this, and this is a song, and I heard it. Oh, I love it. And I tried to record it right away then, and I was not with Atlantic at the time, the record company. And I did a little version of it, which was basically like he played it for me. Mm-hmm. On the phone, when he showed me, when he played the guitar to demonstrate his songs.
On the phone is how he first introduced you to it.
Yes, told me the words, the lyrics, and that's unbelievable. I thought maybe it'd been touched by, influenced by Bob Dylan,
Yeah, totally. Or Gil Scott-Heron is what I always think of when I hear that.
No, he was before that, so, around just beginning of the same time.
Right.
And I never heard him mention Gil's name.
Sure.
Gene was very proud. He was what we called educated.
Right. I guess
speak proper English and everything. He was a unique Negro, we called him. Say that 3 times.
I'll leave that for you to say, my brother. But,
yeah. So when I recorded the song, put it on record, and nobody even mentioned it, you know. And 6 years later, I'm being invited to come to Montreux, Eddie Harris and I, the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. That was the second year, I think, they had tried it. So I had the band all flying there to meet me. Nobody showed up on time except Eddie and I. We were there running around trying to, where's the guys? How we going to rehearse and get ready for this record? And the reason we recorded together, because we happened to be on the same label, Atlantic Records, and our producer, the guy that produced both of Joel Dorn, had suggested, why don't, since both of you on the festival and both of you on the label, let's do something together. And so we did. And as soon as we walked out on the stage, and the idea came to me how to do it right there. It wasn't something we had a chance to rehearse. So the band just fell in, and that's how it worked out. It was a golden gift, a golden blessing. And even after it was over, I refused to listen to it. I was so upset that the band had not been to rehearsal. We didn't get a chance to work it out. There was a lot of notes that I thought were not right. So I was so angry that I got up and went back to my hotel room, called my wife, and I'm crying on the phone. Oh, you guys have messed up the tune. And I'm on the phone for about 30, 40 minutes. It's a long-distance call back then, and from over there it was serious. And as soon as I hung up the phone, there's a knock at my door and another phone call coming in. Man, get back over here. You're not going to believe this record. We got it in the studio part of the casino, and we're listening to these tapes. They are unbelievable. I don't ever want to hear that. Said, man, you got to get over here. And they came and got me, and the rest is history.
Oh, man, good history, too. It's such a killer. You know what it is? I like it because it has, it's the soul jazz kind of vibe. And I guess you know what it was for me, Les? It was more just, it reminded me of Gil. It wasn't saying, so much that he was influenced by Gil. I guess when I hear the song as a young guy, all these years later, I think of The Bottle and all these other sort of songs that were socially conscious. When you play that song compared to what today, where are we today in relation to the stinging lyrical realities that are contained in there?
He's talking about the politics, the attitudes, the fact that we think this way and we're doing something else over here, We make things real that are really just thoughts in our imagination, just pretend the opposite of the truth quite often. And Gene was a very deeply spiritual person, and so was all our friends, so we were always looking for something that we could say, and that song struck me like no other song had ever struck me, but right in the middle of starting the groove on the bandstand, I knew that we had something clicking if it could work. So mainly I was trying to remember the lyrics.
Right.
And we had hired a couple of guys to come play with us, Benny Bailey.
Right.
A trumpet player. So he's asking us, what's the chords, and we said, you can hear it. Don't worry, it ain't that complicated. And
I like that.
Years later, the great Ahmad Jamal, he's a friend of mine. He said, "Man, that record is fun. That is unbelievable." I said, "Well, thank you." I said, I told him the same story I told you. He said, "Well, but don't forget, you guys are professionals. You knew what you were doing musically. So it couldn't have come out bad even if it was messed up." And then he was right. That was a great growth moment for me.
You had, speaking of friends and stuff, tell me a little bit about the historic trip to Africa 40 years ago, documented in Soul to Soul, Santana, Ike and Tina, Wilson Pickett, Staple Singers. How'd you end up on that bill, and who on that bill were friends or were you really close to?
Well, Eddie, he and I went together, but the guy that produced it, put on the whole show, had the idea to take us there was Dick Bach, the owner of World Pacific and Pacific Jazz Records. And he wouldn't do anything big without asking me to come on, because I was his number one seller during those years when I was with World Pacific, which was way before Atlantic Records.
What's a memory of the show?
Of the show in Africa?
Yeah, something that sticks out. Maybe watching somebody else play, maybe something in your own set, maybe just something being there in the country that occurred to you or happened.
That was the main thing, being there in the country, because almost everywhere I go, I insist that I have an opportunity to get out, take me around. I want to see the countryside. I want to see the schools and the kids. I want to meet people. They gave me everything. Took me to a place where I met tribal leaders. We kissed the ground and had some drink that we had to welcome us back to Africa. And they had some good natural goods that grow from the grounds in Africa.
Right.
And it was truly an experience that you can't forget something, man. Plus, it was 250,000 people that came to the festival.
I love it. I can just imagine the crowd looked like a Woodstock.
Huge military training field, and all these people. Some had come for 500-600 miles, walked all the way to get to the main city to be able to be there for the festival. And they gave us shows of their art, their dances, their music. They gave us clothes that we changed, took ours off and wore theirs.
Nice.
I mean, it was mind blowing. I mean, for a young guy from Kentucky to come to Africa and finally hear what all the talk is about. He met a man named Can, and I said, "What does Can mean?" He said, "It means son of McCann." I said, "Oh, really?" So.
Wow.
All the above.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes.
Before I let you go, one last question. The discovery of Roberta Flack you're credited with, do you take credit for that yourself? And what is the true story? Oh,
that's the true story.
What happened?
She was singing at a club in Washington, D.C., and the owner of the club, and him and I were best friends. He said, "You got to come down sometimes early before you play to hear the lady that we have here every Monday night." And it just turned out I was able to do that, and I used to travel with my recording equipment. I had a Nagra tape recorder, a very fine machine. Mm-hmm. And I went and recorded her, came back home to listen to it, and couldn't believe it. I called Atlantic and said, "Hey, I found something great for you." And they said, "Well, we don't want another female singer. We have Aretha Franklin. We certainly wouldn't want another one." I said, "Okay, well, I'll let the people at Columbia call you and let you know what they think of it." And they really wanted her, Columbia. And when that move was made, they changed their mind, Atlantic. And that's how it began.
Man, that's some good stuff right there.
Yes.
I'm very, I like that about you. Hey, man, I could talk to you all day. It's really comfortable, and you're a real warm and fuzzy, wonderful cat. I give you a high five. I give you a big hug. I hope that you've enjoyed chatting with me. I hope this trip to Maui is a real successful one for you, my brother.
I'm highly looking forward. I got friends who live in Hawaii. They're all going to come and meet me there. It's going to be my birthday when I'm there.
Who are your friends out here?
Oh, I got some people who live in Kauai, and Joe and Bear Goldsmith, and a couple of some musicians that I know, and I used to play tennis there. That was on the way to Japan, would stop. I mean, not on to Japan, I mean to Australia. We'd stop through on the way and take a few days there. So, when I got another friend of mine, I got about 9 people coming to meet me there.
That's really cool. You got the connection here with friends in the community.
Yes.
I really dig it.
It was great talking with you, and good questions.
Really? Was this? Yes. It held up to your standards, really, dude. I appreciate that. That means a lot. You would say that.
Well, and once in a while, it's great to talk to someone who's not asking the same old dumb shit every time, you know.
I give you a big hug, Les, and I appreciate it. You did.
Thank you. Where are you from? Philadelphia?
Man, you know it. You knew it. How did you? You just can tell by my voice, by my vibe.
Yes, I can hear your voice.
Damn, dude, you got it. Wilmington, Delaware, Philly area. I've been out. I went to Boston for about 12 years of college and work, and then I got a gig out here in 2002. I've been in Hawaii since, but man, you just nailed it. I'm impressed. Very impressed.
Well, the ear, music, you know.
I can tell. That's spooky. Chicken skin, we call that in Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like gives you goosebumps when someone like can ID you that quickly. So.
Well, only when you have a great distinctive voice.
Oh, I give you big hugs, brother Les. Let me tell you, you travel safe, and if you let's stay in touch. Your people know how to reach me. If you ever need anything, anything I can do,
Well, I hope I get to meet you when I'm there. Are you coming out?
You guys are on Maui, and I'm in Honolulu, so it's different.
How far is that?
It's on another island, and unfortunately, that same weekend, believe it or not, I am over on the Big Island doing some research at a observatory, like on the top of a mountain.
Wow.
Yeah, the big Mauna Kea observatories. I'm going there, actually go to the top of the mountain and look at the stars and stuff, and meet. I
want to hang out with you.
Well, let's stay in touch, dude. I won't. I know how to reach out to you. And
okay, I'm always here. So, anytime you want to talk about the music or anything, I'm more than willing to do it.
We'll reconnect for sure, my brother.
All right, Dave, take care and God bless you.
Right back at you, brother Les. You be safe, man. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.